The various.
Welcome to the basement. Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the basement. I'm Nolo.
Jose.
We're coming at you straight from New York, baby.
What's going on? Who's that?
I just tried something new. Alright. Oh, there we go. So, real quick, for you people out there, we have our website, thebasement.com. Over here, you can catch all of our video content, our pictures, our content, our podcast. We have everything on the site. Come check us out. We also got a YouTube page. Again, all the video content. Twitter, Instagram, Reddit's coming up, and obviously Facebook.
Obviously, I feel like Facebook is so sad now, right?
It is sad, but it also feels like you have to do it.
To what? Let it go?
Facebook.
Oh yeah, you do.
Like you can't be without Facebook. It's almost like utility at this point.
It's like a social norm to
It's a
have
social utility. It's so you can plug in. It's the basic.
Which is what took
thing.
over, what in essence took over MySpace.
Yeah. But you have like Instagram, Twitter, but I feel like Facebook, you need that first, and the other ones come out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like your personal. It's like your personal website.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. It's because when I post on Twitter, it can automatically go to Facebook. If I post on Instagram, it can automatically set up to go on Facebook. When I post something up on the website, automatically goes on Facebook. Like it's like the basic of it.
Yeah.
Everything else is a follow.
I actually got stuck this morning for a good hour. I was doing
on Facebook. I can't stand that. And the worst is when it's actually funny stuff.
Yeah, it's funny, but
you're like, oh, this will cut.
What is she gonna do about it? Yeah, and the thing is this. Actually, I think it's when I was texting you in the morning. I was like, yo, this was such a waste of my life. Why did I do this to myself? But it was too late.
But yeah, Facebook. This is for some reason this is up.
Close it up.
Yeah, buddy, husband. Feeling old yet?
That's hilarious.
But today we're gonna talk about propaganda, or at least that's what they're calling it. It's so crazy about it. So you saw this video, right? We're gonna skip this guy, whoever this guy is.
Yeah, please give him no disrespect to him.
No
but
disrespect
let's
to him,
get to
but
it.
Extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is 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 extremely
they're saying
dangerous
that they
to our
basically gave
democracy.
information to
This is
websites.
extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Sort of like a
This is
propaganda
extremely
piece.
dangerous to our democracy.
And if I
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
There's a backlash.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our
But
democracy.
it's because the guys that
I don't know how people do
that own the company are, if I understand correctly, they're conservative.
The guys that own the company?
Yeah. So because they're conservative, everybody's hating on. Because we've seen this before 100 times. You know what I'm saying? And an example would be this right here. What just happened? I closed it, didn't I?
Yep.
There it goes. So we see this all the time. This is not the first time this ever happened.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Yeah, we get the point.
Just in case you guys weren't totally convinced.
You got another one?
Oh, yeah.
Talk show host Conan O'Brien may be about to push the envelope on late-night television.
Conan O'Brien may be able to push the envelope on late-night television.
Conan O'Brien may be about to push the envelope on late-night television.
Conan O'Brien may be about to push the envelope on late-night television.
So, anyway, the point is, there's like a huge backlash for some weird reason about this.
About this issue, right?
Yeah. And to me, it's, you know, whatever. I don't see the big deal.
First of all, I don't see how this is like shocking. First and foremost, because to me, when I was a kid, big nerd, I always thought about how this one news company, NBC, CBS, whichever one, you know, they're nationwide, but they have their, you know, local
affiliates.
They're not even affiliates. They own them. They're not affiliates. It's the same company. It's all under the same umbrella. But you got News New York, you got News New Jersey, you got your local news for, you know, for broadcasting.
And you see this like in the morning when what's his name? Al Roker does the weather. And he goes, now it's back to your neck of the woods. And then it switches to the local channel. They're all connected. Who do you think he's switching to? He switches to all the channels around the country.
For the same network. So why would I, if I owned a network, you know, whatever, 123, network 123, and I am in Los Angeles, I am in Chicago, I am in the major cities across this country, why would I produce different news if it's, you know, the top stories? Why would I change the story and deliver it to you, or say, you know, go and come up with your own news? It's the same thing.
The argument is, to me, they're saying it's propaganda. So what we saw right now with the Conan O'Brien, the Easter Bunny, they're like, that's not really propaganda. But the one with the Sinclair one is because they're saying the other website, the other news things are fake news. But we look at the facts. Right? That's what they're saying. So people are saying, oh, that's they're pushing for their channel to be the one that has all the facts. Which I'm like, don't you guys do that too?
Yeah, I don't know if that's the. I get the argument as, you know, this shocking revelation that the news across the country is all the same. Of course it is. They're covering the top stories.
And with the propaganda, you'll see them. They be like, this is an apple. Some people say it's not an apple, but it is an apple. You ever see that?
No.
Oh, I gotta show you.
But like I said, you know, this, you know, everyone's talking about this, and I'm just like, I don't know. But to me, I figured this out when I was, you know, 10 years old. You know, it's just one news station broadcasting the top news. That's pretty much all it is.
This is an apple. Some people might try to tell you that it's a banana. They might scream banana, banana, banana over and over and over again. They might put banana in all caps. You might even start to believe that this is a banana. But it's not. This is an apple.
So
that's so funny. It's coming from them.
I know, eh?
Wow. CNN.
Yeah, I know.
You know the pair you have to have?
I know. But it's funny because they say this. This is started because Donald Trump was like fake news, fake news.
Fake news, fake news.
That's why it started. But there's other things. Like there's a whole bunch of videos. I'm not gonna play them, but just so you can see in the sidebar right here. They're different.
What does this do to the audience? Right, you got your liberals and you got your conservative and you have all these other people in between.
It definitely brings a divide for sure. But also, it gives you fuel to keep the divide. Like there's no middle ground, I feel like. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's reaching out to the other person. What they're saying is, we're this guy, those are the bad guys. We're the good guys, we got all the true news. Those guys over there now.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I was listening to, is it something, Luger University or something like that? Prager.
Okay, yeah.
And he was describing the difference between a conservative and a liberal.
Yeah.
One could say there's bias because you get the sense that, you know, the institution is conservative.
Well, real quick before you keep going, what I like about them is that they're honest. They say we are a conservative organization.
Correct.
But we're gonna try to be as fair as we can.
That's what I'm saying. Even
people
though
like CNN will never admit, they're like, we're not liberal. We're just telling you the news.
Right.
But clearly, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like, maybe not. How can you try to fake like you're not? You know what I'm saying?
Fox.
Yeah, Fox is clearly, they lead conservative. Clearly. They talk about think about the people that they give their shows to. Almost all of them conservative.
Yeah.
It's not, but that's why like Ben Shapiro, they'll tell you straight up, I'm a conservative. I'm going to be as fair as I can, but I'm a conservative.
Yeah,
I'd rather you just tell me straight up in my face, this is what I am, I'm going to try to be fair. Because no matter how fair you try to be, you're always going to lean a little bit.
You don't think there's a such thing as being right down the middle?
Yes, I do think there is. But if you're already saying I'm on this side, you're going to wind up leaning.
How could you be on one side on every... You can't. I don't think you can. Abortion is a perfect example.
Yeah,
there is no such thing as right down the middle on that issue.
Yeah.
There's either you against it or you're for it.
Well, this is the thing. I feel like if you are always on one side on every issue, then you're not about the issues. You're about the side. You know what I'm saying? You're about whatever left policies. You don't care what the policy is. It's about it leaning left every time, no matter what the policy is. Gun control, left. Abortion, left. It doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what I feel. It doesn't matter what my church tells me. I'm gonna lean left.
Or what I think?
It doesn't matter what I think. I don't think. I think left. You know, and that's the problem we're having today. Nobody wants to sit down and have the conversation. I think I heard Dave Rubin. He was saying in one of the intros that he said, and he was saying that he used to have he lost a friend because the friend said, even if you want to have a discussion about climate control, I'm not going to be. You might as well unfriend me because the facts are the facts, and we're not going to have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
And Dave Rubin is like, I'm in the middle. I want to have the conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because if we don't have the conversation, then whoever's listening can't make an opinion. You know? Let's say me and you had a difference of opinion. I'm stuck in my ways, you're stuck in your ways. The person listening might not be. So we're going to have a debate, and we're going to put in our points and let that person decide. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the problem we have, that everybody's choosing a side. Nobody's the person thinking. You know? Everybody's just, this is your side, this is my side, that's it. You know?
So what I get from it is that, you know, conservatives are more about correcting. I think for a conservative, they're more they're outside of the box first and foremost in their personal lives. And what I mean to say with that is that the reason why I lean more conservative is because before any situation, I try to. It doesn't always happen. I try to step back from the situation and look at it outside of my own personal involvement within that situation. So, and it's not difficult to do because we're a species of emotions in some way, shape, or form. But if you could disassociate the emotion and the personal connection you have with that issue, then you allow yourself time to really analyze the situation and then go about it maybe differently. Whereas we're building a generation that you know, it's not like that.
It's very selfish driven. Like me, this is how I feel. This is how I think. What about me? And people don't want to take a step back. Okay, so let's say the gun issue. The gun issue is these kids got hurt. Let's hear what they gotta say, right? And then they say, I want guns out of school, and everybody's like, yes, let's get guns out of school. That's a good idea. But then other people will take a step back and be like, that sounds good. Just because you went through something doesn't mean you're an expert. It just means you went through it. We can hear what you gotta say. We'll take it into account. But you're not an expert because you went through it. You know what I'm saying? I was in a car accident. Doesn't mean I'm a freaking crash test dummy. You know what I'm saying? Right. It just means that I went through an experience and I can tell you about it.
But the argument is about how many times did you go about it? How many times did you experience it?
Well, that's the thing. Okay, so you hear this with a lot of different subjects, with the fact that you don't know what it's like to be black, right? You hear that all the time, and it's just like, it doesn't matter if I know what it's like to be this or that. I can get all the information and I can make a decision, right? If you go to the doctor and he's like, oh, I'm sorry to tell you, you got cancer. You don't tell the doctor, well, you never had cancer before, so you can't tell me what it's, you know, it doesn't make any sense. You know, you just get the information and we make a decision based on the information. Right. You know? Like I was saying with gun control, just because somebody's emotionally invested in the gun control doesn't necessarily mean that we have to get rid of all the guns. We don't have to follow their choice. We can take a step back and be like, why do you want to get rid of guns? Let's weigh the options. What's the reason why we have guns? You know, if you take away guns completely, there's other implications that we can talk about. It's not just this one issue that you have a feeling about. You know.
Right. before, the news, to go back to this 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 15-minute fab in regards to the news being all similar across the country. They have to be. They're run by the same networks. Okay, I'm not, as an owner or CEO, I'm not going to write 14 different scripts for 14 different cities when the topic was some kind of mass shooting. Right? It's the same story. We're all going to report the same thing.
So basically, you're saying, if I have 100 different news agencies, I'm not going to pay 100 different people to write a story. I'll pay one guy to write the story. We'll spread it out. Everybody read it.
Everybody read it. We're all on the same page. If anything, isn't that the job of the media? There's time zone differences. The job of the news, the broadcasters, is to bring most current news across the network. Yeah. So the difference between what this brings up to mind is that when you and I were growing up, our media was, fed to us, served to us in a plate. Here's this, here's your carbs, here's your protein, here's your veggies. It was always served to us. We didn't, you just turned on the TV, you watched it. Now, you have all these options of sources. You become a source. How many YouTubers are out there, ourselves included? You know what I mean? So, I could pull up one topic and pull up so many different articles. Which one is real? Yeah. Which one do I follow? Which one do I put, my coins in, that this is really factual information, research?
Well, that game, the big news agencies play that game too. Like, I hate to freaking crush them all the time, but CNN. Because of my job, people love CNN. So, this time I just watch the news with them. It's so much opinion and less news. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were like, whatever, something happened with Donald Trump's Russia investigation. Because CNN loves the Russia investigation. That's all they cover. They don't cover any other news. Then we'll have a panelist, 5 guys, whatever, 4 heads and 1 in the middle. And they're like, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? What do you think about this? And that's all it is. What do you think about this? What do you think about this? And it's just like, if there's something there, tell me about it. If there's nothing there, let's move on to something else. I just heard there was a mass shooting. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about this guy that ran over so many people. I think it was in Germany. He ran over. We had seen it on the entire day. I didn't hear about it until I switched the news to Fox. Then they covered it. So crazy.
It's funny that you mentioned Fox. The reason why I mentioned the distinction between how we received information back then and how we receive it now, think about the control. Is that the best word? Of course it is. Coordinated, scheduled, rehearsed, coordinated news broadcasts each station were producing based on the single source, them being the single source. So our leaders are used to that format. The media, we go to all these media channels and they spread out, what's currently going on regarding the country, blah, blah, blah. Now it's totally different. There was a governor, I forget which state, that was a guest on the Rubin report, and he's recognizing that we're at a day and age of communication, that this is a forum for me to reach more people. It used to be the news. It used to be you go on the news and it's the same questions but now it's all these individuals who are reporting themselves. So what does that say for our future? What does that mean for our future? You're never gonna see you or I, Ben Shapiro, any of these guys, at a White House conference with a microphone asking questions.
We're not allowed in there.
Exactly.
They have their select few.
Well,
remember when Trump decided to change that select few when he first became president? Do you remember that?
No.
He went to go switch it up. He was like, I'm not going to allow you in here, I'm not going to allow you in here, because they were bashing him before he became president. So he's like, I'm not going to freaking give you content. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's right. He was like, he was supposedly kicking them out.
Yeah. And they were like, hey, that's not fair. We've been doing this for whatever, 20 years. He's like, not my watch, right? They were so used to being part of the in crowd that they were going to lose their minds that they weren't. You know what I'm saying? But eventually, I think they're in there now. So I don't know what happened about it. I don't know how they got switched back into it.
I think
But
it's
for a while where they weren't.
I think it's all obtaining the proper licenses and permits and permissions and being vetted to be there. Whether or not it's an open door forum, I don't know. You might be right. It might be select.
You would imagine the president could say, "I don't want you in my house," right?
Yeah, but he works on the behest of the people.
Yeah. Well, he's not stopping the news from getting out.
It's
so
definitely.
It's not a violation there. He's like, I got my news sources.
It's definitely not, but I wonder, if anyone would create a poll and say, where do you get your news source? Are you getting it from traditional TV? Or are you getting it on your own, or through some sort of social media? Where are you getting your information? And before you have an opinion on it, are you really, really going out there and fact checking for yourself the validity of the story?
If you are getting it from the internet, there's also the possibility that you're still getting it from
that's what I'm saying.
News sources.
That you're actually going out there and checking what your research, what you're seeing.
Like I get my news from online, but I only go to Fox Online. And it's just like you might as well just watch Fox News all day if that's what you do. You know what I'm saying? That's why what's his name? Steven put me on to the app Real Clear Politics.
Okay.
Because there'll be a subject and they'll give you all of them, all the news sources that have that. So let's say whatever something happened with Donald Trump Russia investigation. Instead of just telling you what CNN said about, they'll give you everybody, and you can read it, and they mix them up. They don't say this is the liberal side, whatever. You just read, and then you'll gain, you make your own, you form your own opinion from it. You know what I'm saying? Because you're kind of hearing both sides. You hear the argument, what about this side, what about this side? You're like, you know what? I kind of like the way they say it, or I kind of like, what they're saying over here says it's true, over here sounds like it's wrong. Like you could kind of work your way through it.
Yeah.
But I think it's called Real Clear Politics.
So
the website is the app is horrendous. Yeah, I don't know who made that app, but it's garbage. But the content is good.
So what's the future gonna look like for our kids?
I think we're seeing some of it now. You're just feeding yourself what you want. And I think it has its pros and its cons. You only feed what you want. The pros is you can choose a wide variety of sources.
But if you're only giving yourself what you want,
then you're stuck in the echo chamber. You just hear your own voice. You just preach to the choir. It's just the same.
So in many ways, one could argue then you've been muted.
Yeah, you might as well not even be around. Yeah.
You've been muted.
Yeah.
And I say you've been muted because think about how perfect this scenario works out for whoever the real players are. Whoever's really controlling the cloud. Think about how. There you go, Mark. Think about how convenient it was that we first fed the people the news, and we painted it, and we arranged it how we saw fit, whatever our agenda was, whether we agreed with the story or not.
Yeah.
Now it's been sort of taken from us. Now they have this independence. The people have this independence to look up and do their own research. But nobody really does because the generation has been taught, that it's more about your feelings and how you feel. It's not about the right or wrong answer at a test.
Yes, exactly.
Okay? So that mentality spills out into, well, this is my news. This is what I want to be true. And then it's perfect because then they get lost in that. And in essence, you really did control them. You have them now. You have the mic back.
And there's so much involved with how do you feel about it also. Because feeling matters in a sense. Because, if you hear that this guy, you saw the thing with the 3-year-old girl that the guy killed, the stepfather killed her, whatever. I want to feel bad. I want to feel angry about this. So you're not going to remove feelings altogether. But there was something just happened with this guy. I don't know if you saw, he was running around with a pipe that looked like a gun. He was acting like he was shooting people.
I saw like a snapshot of it somewhere.
He pointed at the cops like he was going to shoot them, so the cops shot him. He got shot like 9 times or something like that. And people were saying, wow, they shot this guy, a black unarmed man, they shot him 9 times. And what that is to me is you're jumping immediately to the feeling. You're not even going through the facts to get to the feeling. You know what I'm saying? So the fact is, he was walking around with a gun, or quote unquote a gun. The cops thought this guy has a gun. That's the report. Let's go get him. So if you point something at a cop and he thinks that you have a gun already, right away they're gonna quick to draw.
Hey, did you see the video? I'll put it up because we're running out of time. But there's a video of the cop who there's a video. That's our timer. There's a video of a cop who loses it in a situation. He's putting a woman down. You know, he's trying to cuff her. There's like I don't know if it's an EMT guy, and the guy starts losing it. He just starts screaming. He's like yelling, the cop, and the EMT worker takes the gun from him, like, let it go, you're right, I got you. And he's telling the other, he was telling the other people that lived in the house, whatever, that made the 911 phone call. I can't, I don't have the full story, but he's holding the gun. He's telling the cop, calm down, buddy, we got you, we're on your side. And you could tell by the guy's hand that he's a black cop. All right.
And his hand is really tanned.
Maybe he got a really bad tan. And everyone else would just happen to be like that redneck pink skin. Right. Exactly. But I forgot where I was going with this, but the people who produced or were putting it out there was Police to Police. I don't know if you've seen that logo.
No. Oh, yeah.
So, right, in that story with the pipe, I don't know if I've never been in a situation where there was a gun involved in my life was potentially. I've never been through that situation.
Well, if you watch, there's videos online with people talking about it.
But what I'm saying is that for those people who are just acknowledging the amount of times this individual was shot, the color of his skin, they're not acknowledging that being put in a situation where you don't know.
Yeah.
And your life is that, and you have children and a family and people, that love you and are depending on you. You want to talk about emotion.
Yeah,
Stop to think about the person that's putting their life out there in the first place to just come back home to their family. So, again, it leads to, it's selfish. You said it earlier. This generation is the most selfish you can imagine.
And then also think with the guy that got shot 9 times. It wasn't just one cop. I think it was 4 cops that shot him 9 times. Right, so I'm talking to this dude at my job, and he goes, first of all, if I see a guy pointing out a gun at me, I'm going to shoot him, okay? Now there's 4 people thinking that same thing. So all 9 shots didn't come from one cop. Everybody shot, then they stop for a second. It's not like I'm going to say, you ever play baseball? I mean, you see when they're playing baseball and the ball goes up in the air, they're like, I got it.
I don't play baseball.
I got it. You ever see that?
Yeah. You call it.
It's not like the cops are like, he's pointing a gun at me, I got this, guys. They're not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? They're all working off instinct right away, like, oh, he's going to shoot me, I got to stop him.
And I mean, you really want to put yourself in make an emotional decision, put yourself in that officer's, shoes.
Yeah.
For 1 second. And before you answer, think about the fact that you're just trying to make a living, you're trying to get back home to your loved ones, and they're depending on you. And then act.
So, where do you guys get your news from? We should put up the poll on Twitter.
We should.
Alright, there's going to be a poll on Twitter, check it out. Vote. Where do you get your news from?
There you go.
Basement.
The basement, y'all. Later.